Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, I'm going to talk to you about our case study, Is Holacracy for Us? Before I do that, I want to quickly take the time to just do a disclaimer by letting you know that until we were assigned this case study, I really did not know what holacracy meant. Even though I work for an organization where I'm used to terms such as downsizing, right sizing, standardization, centralization, holacracy is not a word that I'm too familiar with. So I felt like before I gave an answer as to whether or not I felt that Derek should fight the Holacracy Initiative, I felt like it was truly my responsibility to do due diligence by researching what it is that Holacracy entailed. So the first thing I did was went looking on Amazon, and I found out that through this book that by Brian Robertson, that which is on holacracy, that holacracy is a revolutionary management system that redefines management and turns everyone into a leader. Robertson also speaks to the fact that holacracy distributes authority and decision making throughout an organization and defines people not by hierarchy or titles, but by the roles that holacracy creates. He goes on to say how it is intended to be a fast and agile type of organization, and that even though it's not totally why it's considered a flat structure, it still serves the purpose of giving the lower people, the lowest of the people on a hierarchy scale, some level of authority and empowerment. So the next thing I came across in my research studies, it was an article that I found on Business Insider. And in that article, it goes on to talk about Robertson. And I found out that in 2001, while he was trying to establish his own small business, is where he discovered the problems that lie within the management structure. And he felt like that all the authority was given to the executives. And so from that, Holacracy 1 was really born in 2010. Robertson felt there was a need to bring to light that people could be productive and run organizations and be on productive project teams without having that level of micromanagement or executives over them in order to make that happen. And from the case study, I truly feel like Roger was onto something. And obviously we know that he's a very smart man. He started his own construction business. But as he did his profile every year and looked over his numbers every year and gave his same old annual speech every year, each year his numbers grew tremendously in his favor. His sales and everything was just so profitable that sometime when you see that type of trend, you want to take those type of risks. And it became very obvious to me in the case study that Derek was trying to protect Roger. And I would say that in my own words that he was maybe even what I consider a little bit of risk adverse. And then they bring Vera into play. And Vera is a part of an auditing team. And of course, auditors are going to be the one who has, if there's going to be any cautions or breaks put into any type of organization, the auditors are going to be the one to do that. And I know that even from my organization. So she's not okay with this, and she doesn't like the idea of holacracy. And so her and Derek wants to pretty much stop Roger. So ordinarily, I would say that Derek should probably try to continue to persuade Roger to think about what he's doing. But because I live in a world where it's truly what they say that if you don't keep up with the times are going to leave you behind. And so my fear is that if Roger don't start to slowly transition his business, I'm not going to say jump right into the holacracy hierarchy structure, but start slowly moving towards that direction. An organization that he finds today as being profitable could surely sink. So it is my opinion that at this point that Derek probably should not fight the holacracy initiative that Roger is trying to get started. When I took and referenced back to our book one more time, I looked back at chapter 10, page 156 and 157, and it talked about self-management work teams. And when I really thought about what they were saying, it is no different than what Robertson was already saying in the first place. How managers were not utilizing the employees to the point of empowerment to make them feel like they were valued. And I think there's a place in the workforce today, not just in this case study, but today where that can and should exist. So again, it is my opinion that that Derek should not fight the Holacracy initiative. So before I close the post, I just want to reference where my material that I'm speaking from is coming from. And these are the three things: our actual leadership book, the Amazon book that I just referenced to you on Holacracy by Brian J. Robertson, and then the final article that I found on Business Insider that's entitled, "Here's How the Self-Management System that Zappos is Using Actually Works." So thank you for your time, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this post. Have a good evening.